Hello everyone, Lucie here with my latest album, which is an 8.5 by 8.5 Simple Stories Meadow Flowers album. Very pretty flowers, very springy. I'm going to start by taking you through it fairly quickly, and then we'll get started. So on the cover page, I have four envelopes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you can put lots of pictures in there. I even made a little packet here to put in here. Oh, I must have something else. Oh yeah, here's another one. And then on the side, there's also another pocket. Okay, and again, I made with my extra black paper, made a little closure there. Okay, let's see if I can get that in the right place. There we go. So what is technically the first page, there's a flap with a pocket here. We have a flap and then kind of a gate flap here where they open up to give you lots of room, closed with a magnet. Next page has a waterfall, and I made this waterfall a little different. I made pockets on each waterfall. So you could put a picture here, you can put a picture here, and you can put another picture inside. So I've done the same thing with all of them. Okay, except for the last one. It's just a picture page. Next page, there's a pocket here. I also made a large flap. Now this flap I matted with acetate. And so it flips up. You can have a picture here and flips down. Just adds a little bit of interest. And then when you open it up, you could put a picture there and then another pocket here. And instead of using magnets this time, I just simply put that into the pocket. A tuck spot, because it's not really a pocket. It has openings on each end, but you can tuck things in here. Another large flap. This time I matted it with paper. And it opens up to this. It also opens up this way. So it opens up both ways and this way. Okay, so lots of flips and flaps. Inside, another pocket. Next, we have a belly band. Okay, a belly band that goes this way, but also a belly band that goes through here. Okay, I chose to make a little booklet to put into this belly band, so that just sits like that. Okay, another flap going out, and then two one going up and one going down, and another one here. Okay, so these all go in and like that. And the back cover, again, the 4 pockets. I don't believe I left room. No, I didn't leave room on the side this time. So that is the book. Sorry. Just to make that we're going to be here for a while. Now, I know you can stop me at any time, but just to make things go a little bit quicker, I put my suquang on my chipboard already. So I like to use the pages rather than the rolls. You can get a wide roll. You can use your 9.5 tape or whatever you have, but this is quick. It's quick on and it's quick off, right? Because you're only taking one piece off. So that's why I preferred. It isn't any more expensive. So that's ready for us. And I also got our cover wrap ready. All I did there was I took the two pieces of 10.5 by 12, 10.5 this way by 12. Now my instructions, at least the instructions I have at home, I'm hoping I fixed it to give it to you guys. Mine said 8.5 by 12. That's not big enough. It's got to be 10.5 by 12 because you have to have an inch on each side. Okay. So if by chance your instructions say 8.5 by 12, and if you live close to the city or in the city, please come and get 2 more pieces of 12 by 12 to cut up for yourselves. I'm so sorry I made that mistake. And if you don't, I truly apologize. I seem to make a mistake, one mistake at least, every book. So 10.5 by 12. I put them together. I taped them together with just some, I believe this is 5mm suquang. Okay, it doesn't have to be wide. It's good enough. Now, because this is paper, and it tears because it's paper. Okay, so this goes here. You're going to make sure that your spine does not end up on the line here, on the where it joined. You want to make sure that your spine is in the middle, that joint is in the middle of your spine. Okay, so you're going to end up with a little bit more than an inch on your ends. Okay, that's fine, no problem. To make that that spine a little bit stronger, we are going to, before we put this down, we're going to put Tyvek down. Now, if you've never heard of Tyvek, it is the material that builders wrap houses with. It's also what offices use for envelopes. There's no way you can tear this. It has to be cut. And I find that some of my cutters won't even cut it. I'm having to use scissors sometimes. So it really is durable. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that here so that when we put our spine down, our paper is going to have a little bit more strength where it folds into the spine. Okay, nobody's going to see it. There's no difference at all as far as the use of it, but it just strengthens our paper. I am going to get my wider tape. That's going to be perfect. So we do sell this wider tape at the store. I've had this one forever. You don't use it every day. So it's just handy to have. So I'm going to put it, there we go. I'm not quite at the edges, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to cut this off. There we go. Okay, I'm going to take the sides off of here. And I'm just gonna eyeball. I'm not gonna measure. That's about an inch. That's about the center. And there we are. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna start by putting my spine down because I want to make sure that it's centered, that the crease or the join is centered on here. So I'm just gonna go like that. Okay. Now I'm going to get my thought I had all my tools. I don't. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. This little tool, my good friend Darlene, a customer at the store, made for us. And what it does is tells us an inch on top. Okay. But it also measures exactly the width between the spine and the cover page. So it's, you don't have to think. You don't have to guess. I used to use tape and I used to put it there so that I had something to go by. But now that I have this, it is so much easier and cheaper because, the Suquang tape is expensive. So let's take this off this edge. I'm going to put this back here. Just going to make sure that I'm in position so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to make sure that this goes into that corner, nicely tucked into there. And done. Okay, take this out of here and I have perfect. Okay, I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to hold on to it so it doesn't move on me. And done. Just like that. Easy as pie. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our 9.5 tape. And a trick that I like to do is I like to put the tape here on my arm, and then I don't have to play around with it. So I'm going to tape all the way around the chipboard. Okay, so all the way around. Come on. And then all the way around the black. Now we don't need to go right into the corner because we're going to be cutting off that corner a bit. So I'm just going to go about that far. And that far. tape along here. And we're going to put tape on the black piece here. Again, doesn't have to go to the end because we're going to be trimming some of that corner off. Doing the, making the cover and the hinges are the most consuming, I find, when you're making an album. So again, along the black. And yes, we use a lot of sequin. I always think to myself, I wish I had shares in it. There we go. Okay, we are going to miter our corners now. And again, my dear friend Darlene made me a tool so that it's dummy proof for Lucie. I don't have to think. I set this on the corner, right? Like right there. So the corner of my album is right there. And all I have to do is do that. Again, do that. I'm going to do that on all four corners. Okay. And I'm going to use my long scissors to make a nice long cut. Try to show you here. Go. Yep, that's quite enough. There we go. So we have our corners mitered so we don't have too much space, too much paper in there, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to fold in, and I like to fold it this way because then I know that I don't have any paper or any extra space out. Okay, and we're going to do that on both sides. Okay. And we're also, something new I have started doing so that I find sometimes this piece here where it's joined might crack on me, and I'm trying to do everything I possibly can so it doesn't. So I am putting wet glue on here. Let me see here. You know what? I'm going to get my other glue. I love my Barely Art glue. It's just that I seem to be doing a lot of shaking today. But the Barely Art glue is wonderful. It's as good as the art glitter, and it doesn't freeze. So that's a real plus for it. I like using my gun here too. So let's put glue in along here, just to give it a little bit more, maybe, well, I don't know what to call it, more, just dampens it a bit perhaps, and will be less likely to tear or to okay. So let's go back and do this. Okay. Oh, okay. You know what? It really helps if you take the tape off. All right, let's take the tape off quickly before that glue settles. Sheesh. I like to move those up a little bit out of the way because we're going to be sticking them in too. There we go. I was wondering why it wasn't sticking. Okay, here it is. All right, let's try that again. Not letting go here. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let's try that again. Folding. Okay. Now it's sticking. Okay. And I like to just take and just go against and burnish it really well. Push those down out of the way for now. Okay. I'm going to take these off before I start the glue. Like I said, it always takes a little bit longer to do the cover, but okay, they're all off. Come back with my glue. There we go. Now we're going to fold in again. There we go. Okay, let's do our ends. Now, before we do anything with our ends, we want to, if we fold in, just see how there's a piece here that's kind of sticking out. It doesn't look nice, doesn't look professional, shall we say. So what we're going to do is we are going to push that in. Just push that edge in on both sides. so that there's no paper sticking out. Okay, I'm gonna take these off. I'm gonna put some glue in here. There we go. Now I'm just going to we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Push that in. And put some glue in there. I think I must be getting low on glue in my container. Okay. There we go. Okay, now I'd like to go on this side and just make sure it's all nice and folded down, not creasy looking. Okay. And we can help it along here. And on this side a little bit. Okay. All right. We're going to set that aside. And we are going to work on our hinge. Okay, so the hinge is labeled hinge. And so it is 9.5 by 8. So on the 9.5 inch side, we are going to score at 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, whoop, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, and I think that's it to 7.5. Yes. Now we're going to number our sections from 1 to 13. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. And we are going to adhere tape to the number 2 section, the number 5 section, number 8, and number 11. Okay, so we're going to put our 9.5 millimeter tape into these sections. So into the 2. Onto the 5, whoop. The 8. And 11. Then we're going to fold the number 2 onto 3, okay? And fold one back. Okay, so we're folding 2 onto 3, and we're going to adhere 2 to 3. So we're going to fold 2 onto 3. Okay. We're going to fold 5 onto 6. So let's fold it. We're going to fold the other ones back. Okay. So 5 is going to fold onto 6. And everything else is out. Okay. Same thing we're going to do with number 8. We're going to fold it down. And we're going to fold the other piece up. So I'm going to take the tape off of, whoop. There we go. And we're going to fold it onto 9. Just onto 9. And we have one more, so we're going to fold 11 onto 12. Always fold the taped piece onto the untaped number, okay? So we have our tape, and we're going to tape it down onto the number 12. Okay? We're going to fold this back. So what we have is our hinges. We were working on the other side, right? When we were numbering and everything. We're wanting to look on this side. These are our hinges. Okay. So we have 4 hinges. Right? We want to bend them back. We want to fold them because we want them to be supple, right? They're going to have to flip back and forth in our album, right? Okay, what our next step is going to be now, if you've done this with me before, we're going to do something a little bit different. I've got my 7mm tape here. And I'm going to take my 7mm tape and I'm going to tape it along the outside edge here. Okay, so not near the score line, but near the outside edge. Okay, so it's going to go like this so that you've got room down here. Okay, we're going to put this 7mm tape on both sides of each hinge. Okay, again along the outside edge. And this is a little bit different than what I used to do, and you're going to see why. I used to use 9.5, and I used to say it didn't matter where you put it. But I'm going to show you why it matters now and why we use the thinner. And it makes our life much easier when we go to put the book together. Just going to flip it. And one more hinge. One more side. Okay. Whoop. want that there. There we go. There we go. We'll cut that off. Okay. Now I'm going to miter each corner just a little bit, just so that our pages go on a little bit easier. So by mitering, I mean we're just gonna, you know, miter from the tape up. Okay, from the tape, like just like that. Okay, just a little bit to help the page go down. There we go. All right. Our hinges are ready-ish. All right. Take my book back. Yeah. In your packages, you're going to have gusset hider. You can put it in if you wish. It would go here, kind of centered, so it hides all of this stuff, okay? However, this also will hide all that stuff. So we don't really need it. So consider it an extra piece of paper that you have. We need to put tape all on this side. Let's see, is this one wide enough for it? Yeah, it'll do. We'll have to add another piece, but let's use my roll. And I'm going to put it so that one edge is along here and there. Okay. I try to keep everything neat, but it doesn't work. There we go. Okay. So now I need another piece. I have almost every size of tape that you can imagine, but let's use my 12 millimeter. Okay, now I know I bumped. Okay, are you guys can still see what I'm doing here? Okay. If I put 2 of these, that should be good. Yeah. I won't worry about that little piece that's not covered. But let's make sure that it's well burnished. I'm going to burnish from here. Make sure those are burnished down. Okay. I'm going to start by taking these little guys off. And a little bit of this one off. And we're going to take my book back, and we're going to take these off. And we want to make sure that our hinges are on our spine. Okay, so you can see the middle of these two. Let's aim for it to be there, right? And we are going to make sure that we're even up and down. Okay, so let's look at it this way. So, you know what? There, get rid of that. All right, so up and down and even. Okay, this is not in the center, so be careful. You want to center it between this and this. Okay, don't look at that because mine looks like is not centered. So I'm going to go by looking at where my hinges are. Okay, so okay, my hinges are not bad there, not bad up there. Now up and down. And you know what? You eventually just have to say, it's gonna be okay. Because it's never gonna be perfect, but close is good enough. Remember, this is homemade, which means that, you know, machine didn't make it so that it's like perfect. Make sure that these are nicely down. There we go. Okay, we're going to help it fold here. We can do the same on the other side, help it to fold. And it's already thick enough. I really don't think you need the gusset hider. So here we have our book, our cover done. I like to just try to make this. And whichever one is nicest is the one you're going to pick to be the front, right? Okay, so yeah, see how before I put the glue, the wet glue down in by the chipboard, this used to fray here, and it's not, it's perfect. So that's the key. Interesting. All right, we're gonna put this aside. We're done with our cover until we're done our pages. My throat's getting dry. All right, let's clean my up a bit here so that I have some room. Okay, we're gonna start by making our pages. So our base pages are 8 by 8. Okay, so that was our gusset hider. I'm not using that. Okay, so you have in your kits, if you bought a kit, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why I have 5. You might have 5. You should only have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 4 that are 8.5 by 8.5, and you should have 5 that are 8 by 8. Okay, so we are going to start by taking our 8.5 by 8.5. And we are going to, doesn't matter which side it's on, right? I'm going to score at a half. Sorry. At a half. And we're going to make a quarter turn, okay? Not all the way around, but a quarter turn. And we're going to go a half again. So you see how I've done a half and then a half up here. Half. Doesn't matter which quarter turn, which way you go. 9.5. Half, one more, half, and half. Okay, we are going to put 9.5 millimeter tape. From here on in, except for a few places, we're going to be using our 9.5. Okay, so we're going to put, this looks like bigger than 9.5. This looks like my 12. Here's my 9.5. There we go. Okay, so we're going to tape every side that's been scored. Okay, we're going to be mitering that so you don't have to go into the corner. Okay. If I'm going too fast for you, just pause me. Oh, two sides of each one. Trying to get ahead of myself. It was a while ago that I originally made this one, so bear with me if I'm having to look back on my instructions. Okay. And as I always say, we score, tape, fold, and burnish. Okay. And I like to burnish on the opposite side of the tape, not on the tape, because I've noticed that sometimes when you burnish on the tape, your tape is going to look like bacon. It'll start going like rip, you know how bacon goes when it's getting cooked, like that. So this fixes that, doesn't happen. Yep, here we go. We're going to miter this corner. We're gonna cut right in the middle of the X's and get rid of all that extra paper right through the middle of the X. There we go. Okay. We're going to now take one of these and one of our 8x8s, and we're going to put them together. Okay, so we're going to put it here and there. So it's going to go on like this. Okay, so let's start. I like to work upside down, so that's why I'm doing it this way. If, you know, whatever way works for you best. And I like to take only part of the tape off, I'm going to, no, get off. Okay, sorry about that. I'm going to put this side and make sure it's even with this side, like that. And I'm going to hold it there. And now I'm going to put this down. Okay. And now I could pull this away. And I have a little piece because that was where I pulled it off. We'll just cut that off. And now the other side will go on much more easily. The other side should just go down like that. Okay, so you have this side open and you have this side open. Okay, so I'm going to take another one. Going to again start by putting these two sides even. Okay. Once you've done one, the other, you'll see that the others kind of go down very easily. Sun keeps trying to come out, and then a big dark cloud comes over and makes it dark by my window. Okay, last one. There, our pages are all done. Now let's make sure that all our pages are the same, okay? Let's make sure that the opening is to the left and on top on each one. To the left and on top. Just to make sure that we've got it right. And now we're gonna number them. Page 1, the back is page 2. Page 3, the back is page 4. You don't have to worry that they're big numbers. You're going to be covering them up. 6, last one is 7, and the last page is 8. Okay? So let's start with page 1. Okay. Page 1 has a pocket. And I try to label them with the page number and what it is. Okay, I try. I sometimes forget. So we're going to take our, oh, here it is. We're going to, on the 9-inch side, we are going to score at 1/2 and at 8.5. Okay, and we're going to turn a corner, a 1/4 of a turn, and score at 1/2. Remember, we're making a pocket, so that's what it's going to look like. We are going to tape all 3 sides. Doesn't matter where in that 1/4 inch turn, in that piece that you're at. Doesn't matter where, as long as it's within the edge and the score line. You don't need to go to the corner. You can stop at the score line because we're going to be cutting that off, or what we call mitering. Okay, so we're going to miter that again right through the X, and we're going to miter a little bit here. Okay, just a tad, and then we're going to fold and burnish. Fold, fold and burnish. Okay, we are going to adhere this pocket. This is number 1, page 1. We're going to adhere it to the outside side of the page. So to the outside side of the page. Okay, so here, I see that I did mine on the inside. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's do what I tell you to do. Let's put it on the outside. Okay, so it's going to go here. So we're going to start by removing from here. Remember, top left side. I'm going to go on the right side to put this in. And I'm going to go even with that side and all the way across even. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to take it off the sides, and we can just simply put them down, go in the center, and just go like this. Okay. And it will have gone down where it should. Okay. There, we have our pocket. We also have a flap for page 1. Page 1 flap. We are going to score this flap. It's 6.5 by 8. Yes, 6.5 by 8. On the 6.5 inch side. So on the 6.5 is at the top. We're going to score at 1/2. Okay. Whenever I say in the instructions, score on 9 inches, score on 6.5 inches, I mean the 6.5 or the 9 or whatever is on top. Okay. So we're going to tape. We're going to fold, burnish, and miter. Just a wee little bit. Okay. Now, in my book, I in this one, I took my corner rounder and made corner rounds. So it's up to you. You can do that at this point. Now would be the good time to do it. We're taking our page 1 again. We have our pocket on this side. We are going to put our flap on the opposite side. Okay. So just in case we have a bit of trouble. Okay, so this is the side. We want to be on this side. And let's make sure that we are even with this side and even with the other side. Whoop, see, that moved on me. Let's try that again. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now we can go. Sheesh. Okay, that is not the best way for me to do it. Let's try this again. Okay, and just there. Okay. So that's your flap. Okay. Now we're going to be putting a magnet here. If you've never seen me put magnets on, where are my magnets? Let's see. Okay, we can use these for now. So what I do to put magnets on is I will take a small, very small piece of suquang. Where am I here? I'll put it on one side. Take it. Okay, I've lost my... Here it is. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I spend more time looking for things than I do actually. Is that going to be enough? Okay, I'll center it kind of like here. Okay. I will put suquang on top of it so it doesn't move on me. When you go to put your pattern paper on, take the paper off of this so that you get a better, it adheres better, right? Okay. Now another little piece of suquang on here. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be exactly centered. Okay, whoop. And now close your flap on it, open it up, and put a piece of suquang on there. There we go. Okay, page 1 is done. We're going to work with page 2. Now remember, this time it's on our right side, right? Because we're at the back of page 1. So page 2, we have flap A. We have 2 flap A's. They are 44 5/8 by 8 1/8. Okay. On the 4 5/8, we are going to score at 1/2. 2 of them, we're going to score them at 1/2. Whoop. There we go. And there is 1 at 4 1/8 by 4 5/8. On the 4 5/8, we are going to score at 1/2. Okay. Okay, let me take a look at this. Okay, so this one opens here, this one opens here. Yep. Okay, Lucy, did you make another flub? Okay, let's leave this for now. Let's take a look at these. We're going to tape these. Same as usual. Okay. Here it is. Okay. We are going to fold, burnish, come on, there we go, fold, burnish, and we're going to miter, just a little bit on both of them. Okay. Get rid of all of these. There we go. Now we're going to take our page 2. Remember, top is open, and we want the opening on the right hand side here. Okay. We're going to put these on each side. Okay, so one's going to go here, and one is going to go here. Now, it just seems like it's a little bit long. Yeah, it is. Let me just check this. A little bit long. Let's cut that down a bit. Always check, you know. Let's see, this is 8 and an 1/8, which is what I asked for, wasn't it? Let's see, can you still see all of this now that I've hit my head? There you go. I think this might be a tad bigger than 8 and 1/8. Yeah, it's probably an 1/8 too long. So just, if yours is a little bit too long, take an 1/8, like a sliver off. Okay, let's try that again. So it's our page 2, top here, side open here. And let's see. This is much, much better. Okay. So I'm gonna do it this way again. Okay. There we go. Put the other one on the other side. Remember, it'll look like it is. It's the opening. Okay, I'm gonna put this here. go. Okay. So we have these two here. Oh, I don't like that. Something's wrong. They shouldn't be bowing in like that. What did I do? I'll fix that later. They should sit nice and even like here. Oh, actually, one will go a little bit over the other, so that's okay. All right. Okay. So I'll just, actually, I could fix that right now just by simply working it out so that it just, you can just ever so slightly move your paper and just work it, bend it a little bit. Okay, like, and you won't notice it once you've put your pattern paper on. It's just not bending. It's too good of a paper here, see? So what I'm going to do, I need to show you this anyways. If you've never used undo, it is magic. So I'm going to undo my paper here. And I don't think I have to go all the way down on it. I think I'll be okay if I just go part way down on it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, what it does is it just undoes it undoes your tape, but doesn't wreck it. And so it's magic. There, that's better. Yeah, so it just undoes the tape, doesn't wreck your paper, doesn't change the color of your paper, and it just dries nicely. Okay. We need to do flap B. And again, I think I made a mistake because flap B on my book that I made is long. See how my flap B is long, goes over. But since you have only a small flap B, let's use it. I'm going to show you how, just because of the way I do it doesn't mean you need to do it like that too. So let's put tape, because in your instructions and the way at least I cut this one, you only have a small flap B, or I only have a small flap B. So I'm going to put this small flap B here. And so I'm going to have a different look. It's not wrong, it's just different. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to turn it upside down because this is the right side up. So I'm going to turn it upside down because that's the way I work. Okay. And I'm going to undo this. And I'm going to put this guy in the middle. So I'm going to have to do it this way maybe, so that I'm kind of, make sure that I am pretty much centered in the middle of those two. Okay, I think I'm pretty good. And now I'm going to just, there. So I kind of like that. It's different. Okay. Now you're going to need two, are you going to need two? You're for sure going to need one here. You know what? I would put a magnet here and a magnet here, and then the corresponding magnet there and there, so that it holds it closed. Okay, I'm not going to take the time to show you. I've shown you the one. They all go on the same way, but this one, we'll put two of them here to keep this little guy closed. Okay, so that's page 1 and 2 done. We're going to take our page 3. Got a whole mess of garbage here. Let me just get rid of this. Okay. Oh, that's page 8. Let's try page 3. There we go. Side, left side open, top open. And we're putting on a belly band. Okay, so page 3, belly band. We're going to, on the 9-inch side, at 1/2 and at 8.5. Okay, whoops. Let's do that the right way. Okay, we're going to put tape on the 2 ends, like that. And like that. And we're going to miter. We're going to fold and burnish. And we're just going to set it aside for right now. And we're going to take our waterfall pages and those are the pockets. Okay, these are the waterfalls. Should be 5. Good. They're 4 by 4 3/4. On the 4 3/4, we are going to score at 1/2 on all 5. 1/2, 1/2, okay, that's our pages. These are the pockets, and our pockets are through 5 by 3.5. So what we're going to do is on the 3.5, we're going to score at 1/2, and on the 5, we're going to score at 1/2 and at 4.5. So we've made a pocket. Okay, and that pocket is going to fit right onto our flaps. So we're going to do that with all of them. So on the long side at 1/2, on the short side at 1/2. There we go. Four and 4.5 and 1/2. Okay. for now. We're gonna do our pockets. We're gonna tape all 3 sides. No point putting tape in that corner because it's gonna get cut off. You will know how to make pockets by the end of this tutorial, right? Getting there. One more. Okay, may as well put our tape on our waterfall pages as well, since we're taping. We are not going to miter our waterfall though pages because they show, so like you'll see the underneath of them, so we don't want to. It kind of looks cleaner finished if you don't miter. Let's try that again. Okay, done taping for a bit. Let's fold our pages, burnish, fold and burnish. Okay, those are our pages. Our pockets, we're going to miter right through the X on all of them, so we don't have all that extra paper in the corner. And one more. Okay. Fold and burnish each one. Good. There we go. Okay. We are going to, yeah, let's put our flaps on first. Okay, I think it'll just be easier. So here's our belly band, and here are our flaps. And what we do is we start about 1/4 of an inch from the, or sorry, 1/8 of an inch from the top, and we put it on. Okay, so because I work upside down, I'll look like it's the bottom, but it's really the top. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure that it's even with my belly band, otherwise it's it's okay. This won't show, but there we go. Okay, let's try that again. So I want to make sure it's even with the side of my belly band, right? And then down. Okay. Now we're going to put the next one under, not right smack by the fold line, but under this paper. Okay, so there'll be 1/2 inch between each one. Okay, so I'll just show you here. So it's going to get nice and tucked in against that bottom of that other one, and nicely here. Now, if for some reason when I cut it, this one was a bit wider, we'll just cut that off in a minute. Okay, sometimes it depends where you cut as to so again, I'm going to go right even with this and nicely even with the side. Okay, and again, it's a little bit bigger, no big deal, we'll fix that. Seem to be okay. We'll just have to slice that off. I think I'm like barely 1/16 of an inch off of what it should be. Yeah, you see how I'm off? So I am going to cut that off. Nobody will be the wiser. So I'm going to put this nicely even here. There we go. Didn't catch that one. Let's catch that one. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to take my snips. There we go. Okay, so they're all on there. Now we're going to put our pockets on. So our pockets will go right on top. of each one. Okay, right like that. So we'll start with the bottom one, or the bottom of the top one, sorry. Okay, let's go like this. And now the sides. Now let's just go down nicely. Okay, that's one. Nice and okay. And the two sides. Okay, they go down pretty quickly. They're just little guys, right? So it doesn't take a lot of time to do them. Okay. See, there's a little piece sticking out here. Don't like that. Let's see if I can, won't be able to get it with my little big ones. There we go. Keep touching my arm here and make sure that you're still in. One more. Come on. There we go. Come on. Okay. There we go. Now we need our closer. And what we're going to do with our closer is simply on the 6.5 inch side, add a 1/2 inch. Okay. I'm going to put some tape on that. And we're going to put this here so it keeps our waterfall closed. And I'm just gonna miter it a bit, and let's put it centered here, about kind of centered. There we go. And you're going to put again a magnet, so like about here and here, and again same way you always did. Okay, so now we're going to put this onto our page 3, I think we are in. Yes. Okay, so we're going to put our belly band on the page like this. Okay, and you don't need to worry. You can slide your pattern paper underneath, no problem. When you go to put the pattern paper on, it's not, you don't have to do the pattern paper first. Okay, because your pattern paper will slide in there just nicely. So we're gonna figure out about halfway. We're gonna put it down. We're gonna go upside down to the top. There. So this, I'm just gonna use a, just gonna close it here with a, there. So this is page 3. Okay. So now we're going to page 4. We're getting there. Wait, we're getting there. Okay, page 4 has a flap and a pocket. So that's this flap. Okay, that's this flap. So again, I corner rounded the corners. So that's the flap and this is the pocket. Just so you know where we're going with this. So we're going to score the flap on the 8 inch at a 1/2. And let's score our pocket at the same time. So our pocket is 9 by 3.5. So we're on the 9, we're going to score at a 1/2 and at 8.5. Oh, sorry, 8.5. And we're going to make a 1/4 turn and do it again at a 1/2. So again, we've done lots of pockets in this album. You are going to be able to do pockets in your sleep. And let's put tape on our flap as well, since we're here. to miter the corners. And these corners as well. And through the X. We're going to fold and burnish. Okay, we'll take our page. This was 3, back is 4, so now we have our opening on the left hand side. Okay, we are going to put our flap at the top, so where the opening is, that's where our flap will go. Okay, I'm going to flip it upside down. And I'm going to put it, I'm going to eyeball center again. If you wish, you can measure. I never do. It doesn't bother me that much if I'm off. Well, it bothers me if I'm not if I'm crooked on the top. It doesn't bother me if I'm off this way, but I've got to be. Now, because I hadn't burnished it, it's coming off pretty easily. Undo is my magic potion. Couldn't do a book without my undo, really. It's my savior. Okay, there's my flap. My pocket goes here. Okay, so we're going to open the flap and the pocket goes at the bottom of the page. So there we go. I feel like I'm losing light already. Really, it's still afternoon. Okay. There we go. And now, if you don't want to put that if you don't want that your flap goes in, you can put a magnet here. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. I thought it was kind of cool to flap it in. That's page 4 done already. That was a fast one. Okay, page 5. Open on the left and open on top. Need something to drink again. Okay. Page 5 is a quickie. It just takes a tuck spot. And all a tuck spot is it's just sits on top of your page. How do we keep it there? We're going to take 5mm tape and we're going to put it along the bottom. Okay, so 5mm tape just along the bottom. Having issues. Okay, there we go. And our tuck spot, if you remember, goes on the side. So you can tuck things in. So this is page 5. Okay, we're going to put a tuck spot on the right hand side. So let's make sure it's even with that side, even with the bottom. Done. Tuck spot finished. Page 5 finished. You got to have some easy pages after the hard ones we've done, right? Page 6. This page, what have we got in page 6? We have flap A, and we have flap, oh, pocket, another pocket. Page, okay, B flaps. B flaps. Okay, A flap and B flaps and a pocket. All right, let's show you what we're doing. Okay, this is page 6. Here's our flap. And here are those other flaps that I said. Okay, and here's the pocket. All right, let's start by scoring them all. So let's start with our A flap. So on the 8.5, so 8.5 on top, we are going to score at, okay, at a half. Okay, let's take a look at our B flaps. They are 6 by 6.5. They look square, but they are not. 6 by 6.5. On the 6.5, score at a half. Okay, make sure you have 6.5 on top, score at a half. And our pocket, yeah, okay, it's 9 inches, so a half, 8.5, and a half on the long side. Okay, we're gonna start by taping, of course. Here we go. We'll tape our pocket first since it's here. They all have to be taped, so. If you're new to making albums, yes, it takes a lot of tape. Do we have to use tape? No. You could use wet glue. I personally have never done that. I make my albums for the store, and the store, I mean, the albums get a lot of hands touching them, right? Opening, closing, flipping, flopping. So I would never try to use glue. I think tape is stronger. And you know what? If I'm going to go to all this trouble, as you see, I think we're closing on to 2 hours here. If it takes me this long to make an album, and I've spent all that money on the black paper and on the pattern paper, I want to make sure it stays, it lasts. So I put my faith in the sequin. I'm just going through the motions here, right? Doing what we've been doing all along here. So yeah, so I think using the tape is the way to go, personally. Okay, that's my pocket. It's one flap. Two flaps. 3 flaps and the big one. Okay. So let's start by maybe putting our pocket down first. So that's page 5. This is page 5, yes. The tuck was on the side. Page 6, our opening is on the right-hand side. So let's start with our pocket that's going to be down here. Okay. Just see there. That'll help me. It's a long pocket. Go. Okay. Now, I'm just going to follow my instructions here. Okay, so B flaps, adhere 1 to the top of page centered. Let's see if that's indeed what I did. Yes, I did. Okay, so we're going to start by putting 1 centered up here. Okay, that's our top. I'm going to flip it upside down. Roughly the middle. Okay. And adhere the second one to the left side of the first one. So this is the left side of the first one. Okay. So I'm just going to go like this. Okay, and the third one on the right side of the first. So, yes, okay. So we're going to put this one on this side. A bit of trouble seeing here. There we go. Okay, so we have this one, this one. Okay, so you see how it's not really closing nicely? Let's take just a sliver off this side. Just a sliver, so like 1/8 of an inch is probably lots. It's going to be, because I'm not right at the end there. Okay, there we go. All right. There, that sliver helped us. Okay, now we are going to put our larger flap on top of here. It's going to go like that. Okay. So. Okay. There we go. Now, did I put, oh no, I don't think I put any in the, let's see. No, I don't believe I put any magnets in this one. I felt it's probably heavy enough to stay closed. If you want, you can put a magnet down here, but I don't think it needs it. All right, page 5 and 6 done. We're on the home stretch. Page 7. Don't like this little flip thing here. Let's take that off. There we go. Okay, page 7 has another belly band. We have a folder and we have a belly band. Okay, so let's take our full, oh, this is our belly band. Okay, let's take our belly band and we're going to, on the 9-inch, we're gonna score it at 1/2 and at 8.5. On our folder, which is 12, measures 12, we're going to score it at 6. Okay. We're going to fold our folder in half, set it aside. We're going to put tape on our belly band. Here we go. We are going to miter. And fold. And there's a smaller belly band somewhere that I missed. Small belly band. Here's a small belly band. Okay, let's work with our small belly band. It is 5 by 5. So we're going to, on one of the 5s, we're going to score at 1/2 and at 4.5. Okay. We're going to tape. We're going to miter. Going to fold and burnish. Okay, we're going to put our small belly band centered on our big belly band. Okay, so because I work upside down, I'm going to put it this way and eyeball center. And take it off the other side. There we go. Now we're going to put our belly bands onto our page 7. Okay, we're going to again, we'll center it as well as we can. Go. There. And our folder goes right in here. Okay, that's page 7. On to page 8. We have A and B and 2 C's I can see. So A, we are going to, A is 6.5 by 8. So on the 8-inch side, we are going to, score at, sheesh, having trouble scoring today, at 1/2. Okay, I think that's wrong. On the 6.5-inch side, okay, so on the 6.5-inch side, let's see, this, we're going to score at 1/2. The other one is 5.5 by 6.5. On the 6.5, we're going to score at 1/2. That one's right. Okay. Then we have 2 that are 4.5 by 6. And those we are going to, score on the 4.5 at 1/2. Whoop. Okay. Let's put our tapes on. So, yeah, hopefully you are watching this before making your kit. And you've heard me fix my mistakes. Okay, so this one had to be, yes, on this side. Okay. We're going to miter. Fold and burnish. Get my papers out of the way. Okay, so we're going to put, okay, here's our 8. Remember our 7 was here, 8 on the right hand side is open. So we're going to put the biggest one on the right hand side. Okay, right here. Go. Okay, that's our first flap. The next one, the 5.5 by 6.5, we're going to put it on this side. Okay, you can choose whether you want to put it at the top, at the bottom, in the middle. The one that I made, I chose to put it in the middle. Doesn't matter. Totally where you want to put it. I will put it in the middle again, as best as I can. Okay. And the 2 other ones, I'm going to put one in the middle at the bottom and one in the middle at the top. Okay. So start with the bottom one. Again, centered. I'm going to flip it upside down and we'll put the other one in. You want to make sure that you have it the same place. You could measure it now. Let's see what I can do without measuring and without making a real big mess. Let's see. Close enough for my liking. Okay, so it's going to look like this. It's going to look like that, and it's going to look like that. Did I put a magnet? I probably did. I don't think I did. I don't feel it. So I think probably I figured that it would stay closed. Although, again, if you wanted to, I don't know, did I put magnets? Let me check if I gave you, how many magnets I gave you. I only gave you 4 sets of large magnets. So chances are that there is no magnet here. But if you have magnets at home and you want to put them in, I would put one here, one there to keep it closed. Okay, that is page 7 and 8 done. Now, our front and back inside pockets. You would have why did I say 6? I only gave myself 2. I hope you guys have 6. Or is that a mistake? Okay, let's see. 9.5 by 6.5. Okay, so let's score where I tell to score. So on the 9.5, I'm going to score at 2 3/4, 2 3/4, and it's 7. Okay, fold and burnish. Okay. Adhere, make the pocket on the long side. Stack these. Yeah, I only gave myself 2. So, so if I show you here, adhere tape where indicated at the bottom of the sketch only as far as the 2.5. Okay, I need a roller here. Okay, 2.5. This is the 2.5. Yes. So we're going to adhere tape where indicated at the bottom of the sketch only as far as the 2.5-inch piece overlaps. So A onto B, then C onto A. Okay. So we're going to put tape down here. I'm just going to put, I'm just going to put thin tape there. Okay, so we're going to put there onto here. And then we're going to, take it off. Okay, that was very helpful. Okay, let's put some tape that's going to make sure we hold on to it. Let's try this again. Okay. Adhere tape when indicated at the bottom of sketch and only as far as the 2.5 piece overlaps. So I believe this is what I mean. Okay. And then we're going to fold C onto AB. Okay, we have to put tape here as well. So we're going to put tape here. And we're going to close this. Okay, so what we've done here is we've made a pocket. Okay, this piece is open here. So, but we've made a pocket here. Okay, so I'm going to do the same with the other one, and you're going to do the same with all 6. Okay. So 2 3/4 and 7. Okay. Okay, so we're going to fold, and we need to, okay, so we're going to put tape on. Put tape here. Put tape here. And then we're going to close it. There we go. Okay, so now we have 2 pockets, right? Okay, you have 2. We're going to stack these on top of, where did my book? Okay, so we're going to stack them. We're going to stack We're going to make sure that the outside is here. Okay. We're going to stack it with the closed end here. Except that it's going to have, so this is going to be careful which end you close, because we can't put this one here, because then we won't be able to put things in it, right? So be careful which end you close. So this one would go here, and then we put this one. Let me read what it says. Top of second one, even with the pocket slit. Okay, so we put the first one down. We put the second one even with the pocket slit here. So here is the pocket slit. So we'll put this one on top of this one. Okay, so we can do that now. We can put, okay, so I'm putting the tape on the bottom of this one, like that. And I can't put these down on my cover yet because I don't have pattern paper, right? You can only put these down after you've put the pattern paper down. So, but I can put these together. So we're going to put this one on top of this one, even with the side, right on top of the flap. Okay, so like that. So you see how I have a flap here, I have a flap here, and we're going to put the third one on top of here, so that we have, and then I think we have to close these too. No, we're only going to close this little piece up. Okay, you see this little piece? We're only going to put tape on it. Or instead, let's put glue. I think the glue will be easiest at this point. Okay, so I'm going to put glue along here. See where I put glue? Now I've got it all over my table. And the same here. Here we go. And there. Okay. Yeah, we can close everything up on this side, actually. Can we? No, I think we want to keep these as an opening. You see how once that's done, we can slide something in here, and we can slide something in here, and we have a pocket here, and we have a pocket here. Okay, so we need a third one now on top, which I don't have my papers cut for. Once you've put your pattern paper on, you're going to put this centered, okay? Because you can have another one here. And so it'll be the same on this side, except you're going to close this side, leave this side open, okay? Just be cognizant of that. It'll be the opposite. You can't flip them upside down because your pockets go this way. Okay? So just remember that. All right, that's done. We now need to do one more thing, and that is put our pages into our book. And if you've never done that, then we're going to show you. And I want to show you a neat new tool that I have. That I hope I can find. Oh no. Wow. That's terrible if I can't find it. Let me see. I took it to work with me the other day. Aha. Phew. Okay. So what we have here, I'm not sure. What is Darlene going to call it? It's going to be called a depth spacer, depth tool. So what this is it's going to slide onto your hinges like so. Okay. You're going to make sure it's nice and right down to the bottom in your hinge. Okay. This was in case you've got a wider spine, right? So we're going to put this front or top and bottom. Okay. Now see how your tape just comes right up to there on both sides? With this spacer or this depth guide, we don't need to worry about how deep we put our pages. We used to have to worry about, well, now you don't want to go all the way to the bottom because then your pages won't, once they're full, they're not going to go back and forth easily. Now, no problem. So let's take our tape off. And I used to have to, I'd make sure that I put liquid glue on so that I had time to, you know, finagle. And I don't think I do now. Okay, so here's not page 1, this is page 2. What I'm going to do is I am simply going to slide this over. Oh, you know what? I am going to put liquid glue. Sorry. Because I think it's just a good thing to do. Just along both sides. Just gives you a little wiggle time. Okay. All right, here we go again. So page 1, where's my opening? Page 1, it's page 1. There we go. Okay, page 1. I'm going to try to put it so that you can see. So we're going to put this here, going all the way down to the bottom. And now we can make sure that it's all the way down to our guide, right? We can make sure that we've glued it, taped it on really well. And I am going to take this off, and I'm going to take this off, and you're going to see how nicely that is. It's perfect. Whoop, with my glue. Let's just put a little bit too much glue. It's okay. This glue dries clear, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, I didn't go quite far enough here. You can see my tape a little bit. But let's see if we can do better on the second one. So we put this back in. Okay. And I'm going to make sure it's down nice and deep. Can I? Okay. Where's my page 3? Oh, that's my, okay. Page 8, page 5, page 4, page 3. It's that great big one. Okay. So we're going to push that down nicely. That's why we don't want 9.5. We want the 7. Okay. Now, we're going to push this down really far again, as far down as we can, so that it won't, you know what, let's move this one out of here for now, and let's put this first one on. Aha, this is gonna work better. There, now this one doesn't want to push everything up. Okay, so we're gonna put this here, nice and even. There we go. We're going to push it down as far as we can. Okay. Going to close it up. Nice. See how? And this one's nice too. Now, they're both have the same distance away from the hinge. Okay. So I really like these. I think it takes out the element of, you know, am I doing it right? Did I go far enough? Did I not go far enough? And let's take those off. We'll do one more. I still like putting the glue in, just that little bit. Okay, page 5 and page 6. So again, let's push this down. Yeah, as far as it can go. I'll put that here, put this here. Okay. There we go. And another perfect. Okay. And so we always have a nice finish. We're done, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. I am going to go drink a great big bottle or drink a big glass of water. My throat's sore. I've been talking for what seems like hours. So I am going to let you go. If ever you have trouble or have questions or I've really messed things up for you, give me a call at the Scrapbook Cottage. I am there Tuesdays from 11 to 5 and Thursday afternoons. So give me a call if you need help. Bye now.